Today at Deutsche Auto Parts, we're going to be going over how to install spark plugs on a B8 S4 with a 3.0T engine. We can start by removing the air box, which we can unclip from this hose. There's a top and bottom clip, and then you can just pop the hose out. So all we're going to do is pull that up and then fish it out of the way. And there's a secondary air hose here that we're going to grab a pick. Now there's two, with secondary air hoses, there's two corrugated pieces that are kind of ribbed that you squeeze to push. Sometimes it's tough to do that. You can squeeze and then kind of wiggle the hose and it'll pop it loose from there. Sometimes you got to grab a pick and kind of go near the edges. And now our air box is out. Now we're going to remove these T20s. Now one quick note, the intake tube here we removed so that we can get this shot and you can see what's going on. You should be able to clear this back coil without having to take that off, but it is an option to take that off if you want to get a little more room. And this is a T20 Torx, both of these. Now once you have those off, you can disconnect the ignition coils. And as you see, you kind of lean back on that and you can push forward and then pull back. It will allow it to release. Sometimes these get hung up, and then that's the easiest way to make sure is you push forward, unclip, and we're still a little hot. And you see that kind of breaks loose there. I know somebody did a write-up mentioning taking off all this harness stuff, which will give you a little more play here, but we shouldn't need to. We should be able to get these coils out. There are coil pullers out there on the market, but you should be able to usually just get your fingers underneath and then just pop them up. Take out this next cylinder, pop that one up. And the last one. And now we can pull our plugs out. We're going to start by taking out our first spark plug. And we have a 5/8 spark plug socket and an extension on a ratchet. Now one quick note, the passenger side of all VW and Audi V engines, this is always going to be bank 1. So this is bank 1, over there is bank 2, and so this is going to be cylinder 1 through 3 here, and then 4 through 6 is on the other side. We're installing our new Bosch plugs, and if you take a look on the box, it has the torque spec here, 28 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. So we're going to install them and start with our first one. And now we're all threaded all the way down by hand. Take our torque wrench. All right. And then we'll do the 90s all at one time. So we're going to put all of our 3 in, torque them down, and then do the 90s. All right, now they're all tight, and let's do our 90. Now we're going to do our 90s, and that is so that the crush washer on the spark plug seals in to the combustion chamber. And now we can reinstall our coils. You are going to want to make sure that the coils are seated all the way down once you install them. And they do have guides on the side of them that lead them into the correct spot on the valve cover. And you should hear all those click in like that when you're installing them. If you're not sure if they have clicked in, you can give them a tug and just make sure that they don't pull back to make sure you have a solid connection. Put our Torx back in. And these are only self-tapping, so don't go too tight with them, because if you go try to tighten self-tapping screws too much, you could strip them. Now we can reinstall our valve, or our intake. So we're putting our air box back in, and you're going to want to kind of pop this out of the way and then fish the air box past it. Make sure you don't forget the secondary air hose, because if you do forget this hose, you're going to have some heartache, because you could potentially cause some issues where your secondary air system is not getting filtered and you'll kill your secondary air pump, which will not be a cheap proposition. So, okay, so that's the easiest way to get this on. Get your right hand over, reach in between, and then you can pull up with your right hand and push down with your left. You can lube up this a little bit. Those secondary air hoses are kind of a pain, and you'll feel it kind of snap, lock in place. Now, we've done that. The two little nubs that stick down can go into their associated places in their frame rail, and then this mount can go in place, and then you're just going to pop them in real simple like that. We're going to get this hose mounted in place. Now there are two nubs that need to line up with this coupler, and you can just pop them in place and then clip it back on. If you're struggling to get this back in place, it's because they haven't lined up with those nubs. And then we can get this in place. And once you get that all in place, you should be able to just look around it and make sure everything appears to be correct, which it does. And we can start on the other side. So here we are on the driver's side of the vehicle. Our vehicle is still a little warm. We're going to crack the coolant bottle loose. You will want to do this when the car is a little cooler, because as you saw there, the coolant kind of will bubble up a little bit if there's a lot of pressure in here. You want to make sure you don't burn yourself. We do have to pop this loose and then slide the coolant bottle out of the way. So what we're going to do is just crack it loose like that, put it back on, and then we'll take this other hose off and swing everything out of the way. So this is pretty simple. You just pop it up like that as a clip, and then you can kind of just work it off like that. And take these two nuts that hold it in place. These are 10mm nuts. So now that we have this hose loose and the 10mm nuts are up, we're just gonna pop this up. There's a rubber grommet that goes in the frame rail, like the airbox on the other side. We're gonna pop this up and then pull it out of the way. And this is gonna give you the ability to gain access to what you need to over here. We're not going to show you the complete side on the driver's side just because you're not gonna be able to see anything on camera, and everything will be basically a repeat of the opposite side. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to check out more like it. For more information about the products featured in this video, check out our website at shopdap.com.